Hello, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you very much for having me. Not too long ago, I became an accidental admin. I guess many of you as well. Often we admins become part of Salesforce projects. This is when we transition from accidental admin to accidental project manager. Unfortunately, many of these projects at some point have crunch time or even tears. Deadlines are missed, users are unhappy, and managers are furious. It doesn't have to be this way. Imagine a world where projects are delivered in time, in scope, no sweat, no tears. We admins can be a great asset to achieve these goals. Together, we will explore 6 concepts on how to deliver your next project like a pro. I'm Johann from Berlin in Germany. I'm a Salesforce architect who helps companies achieve their business goals. But enough about myself. Let's start. Throughout this presentation, I will be using a Lightning migration project for many examples. Not everything I will talk about happened in this project. Some examples I know from friends or other Salesforce projects. The company is a B2B2C sales company with about 1,000 Salesforce users. Almost every employee uses Salesforce. The project spanned across 10 countries in 4 time zones, 1,000 users in 4 distinct user groups. The project lasted for about 12 months. On top of a technical migration, we should streamline business processes too, all of them. It became stressful, but once we started following some concepts and developed a rhythm, it was actually an easy, nice project. It was a lot of fun. Good news? We finished the project 1 month ahead of time. And no sweat, no tears. For every project, I have 4 goals. In time, in scope, no sweat, no tears. To achieve these goals, I think there are 6 concepts which are key. Acknowledge you have a project and manage it. Ignore managers. Focus on your primary users and no one else. Harness Salesforce modularity. Focus on one thing at a time and nothing else. Get something live. Always create value fast. Trust nobody. Be radical. Question everything. And lastly, be different. Embrace diversity. It's quite a wild ride for one session. Let's see if we can make it work. You have a project, acknowledge it. I've got a friend, let's call her Max. For a few months now, Max has been implementing a structured sales process in Salesforce. We all know these kind of projects. A couple of people from different departments work on it together. Unfortunately, it's not going too well. Deadlines are missed, responsibilities are unclear, it became quite chaotic. After some sweat and tears, after some long nights, Max realized, this is actually a project and somebody needs to manage it. I was in that situation quite a few times. Who of you was in a project which was not called a project? There are many excuses not to have a project management. The project is too small, no need for it. We are agile, we don't do waterfall. And my favorite one, nobody asked me to manage the project. If you like it or not, only a managed project creates the highest value. It's a Salesforce project. You are the Salesforce expert. It's your system. Take control. Step in and manage that project. Just do it. At the core of project management are 3 basic elements, in my opinion. Early planning, project team, and project routine. The project plan can be very basic. Don't overdo it. No need for Microsoft project at this stage. At the minimum, your plan must include which requirements, what do we want to do, which stakeholders, so who I have to talk to, and a rough timeline. This is no exact science. Don't overplan here. Don't do early optimization, but get a feeling for the project. And I think it's important to start this planning early, at least a couple of weeks ahead of project. Next one is create the project team. This is another crucial step. The project team consists of a voice of the user, very important, voice of the delivery organization, and the project manager, you. Keep this team small. I would say max around 8 people, the good old pizza rule. And it's important to keep the project team cohesive and updated. but at the same time, not waste anybody's time. So therefore, I recommend a weekly meeting of no more than 30 minutes. And the last building block is a routine. A project is chaos by definition. We want to have as much stability in it as possible. Routines create stability. I have two routines, a daily routine and a project routine. In the morning, I talk to developers. Afterwards, gather requirements until noon. In the afternoon, I write tickets. Daily wrap up in the evening. Done. Next day. The whole project itself follows the standard IT project routine. Plan, build, test, release, improve. Feel free to have any routine you like, but stick with it. Create stability within that ocean of chaos. You find more details in a resource section at the end of the slide deck. The slide deck will be shared in the description of the video. These are 3 points I want to share about project management, but that's already it about standard project management. From now on, I want to focus on concepts which are, from my point of view, specific and unique to Salesforce projects. And the first one is you have to focus on your primary user and no one else. I mean, you started to manage the project. Good for you. First step done. We got some stability. You got a routine. You got a team. You got a plan. Now the actual work starts. And throughout your projects, you will be not an hands-off project managers. You will have to make thousands of decisions. Small, like the label of a button, or big, like the order of milestones. And how to decide all of this? Traditionally, we ask the managers we are building the Salesforce for. Head of sales, head of marketing, head of service, maybe even the CEO. But let me tell you a story about some automated task. It was a couple of years ago. The manager of the finance department gave me a nicely written list of tasks to be implemented. I should implement 8 automated tasks. Well done specs, criteria fleshed out, subject, due date, who the task assigned to. Perfect. By chance, a team lead from finance dropped by. I told her about the task to be automated. It will be great how much faster, how much more structured the team will be. Well, the team lead said, this is all good, but from these 8 tasks, we actually don't do 4 anymore. We changed that a couple of months back. I was a little surprised, but only 4 instead of 8 tasks to implement. The less, the better. I went hard to work. Honestly, implementing process builder and task is one of my favorite topics still to this day. So I went hard to work, implemented the 4 tasks in a sandbox. Once done, I walked over to a finance user to test together. Well, the user from finance said, from the 4 tasks, we don't do 3 anymore. We changed that a few weeks back. And by the way, we already have a report for the remaining one. So we are actually fine. Nothing you should change. The manager meant well, but her information was outdated. The team lead meant well, but her information was also outdated. Only the primary user, the person in front of the laptop, in front of Salesforce, had the up-to-date information about the actual process and about the requirements. And this is something we can learn from Salesforce. The whole system is built with the user in mind. Salesforce is not built for the CEO. It's not built for managers. It's built for salespeople. It's fine to get ideas from managers or team leads, but don't mistake their requirements for the truth. Always get your requirements directly from the primary user. And this sounds trivial, but it takes a lot of bravery, because what it actually means, don't listen to managers. Take the time, focus on your primary users, because I can guarantee you, listening to your primary users, only your primary users, creates the highest value. And a couple of tricks I like to use for user interviews. I have 2 users on speed dial, always. Getting feedback or information from them usually only takes a few minutes. Keep it short. They have work to do. Don't make a meeting out of it. There are no managers allowed in these calls. The users have to trust me. I need to get to the truth. And I try to have average users, not the rock stars of your company, just normal average users. Okay. Talking to users lets us know what to do. But how do we actually get it done? One thing at a time and nothing else. Throughout your days, we all have countless things to do. It's a never-ending stream of topics. It's a never-ending stream of people, ideas, bugs, whatever. It's easy to get lost in a pile of half-done, in-progress tasks. Okay, who of you has more than three, even more than 5 in-progress tasks right now? I have, kind of. I try to get it reduced to 1. This is really bad. It feels really shitty because I work hard. You work hard, but still people complain that we don't deliver. And the reason is half-finished tasks. The good news is Salesforce is very modular and most of the work is too. It's very much possible to break big topics into smaller tasks and finish each independently. Don't try to multitask. It's not working anyways. Take your to-do list. You remember from back when you planned a project, we had a to-do list. We had a pick the task at the top and start. While working on the first task, don't start anything else. Yes, it's very tempting to squeeze in a small request since it's just a couple of minutes. No. Finish this task first. Once you're finished, you can pick the next. And by finished, I mean, you never have to touch that task again. You tell me, that sounds great in theory. In reality, you often can't finish because something is missing. True. Only start when you can't finish. Only start once you have everything together you need. Because juggling different tasks in parallel is expensive. It costs energy to pause and resume. And a half-done task is basically waste because only a finished task creates value. And therefore, do yourself a favor, start, finish, repeat. And I brought an example. I mean, remember from our Lightning migration project, we decided to clean up all page layouts. Okay, maybe this is my favorite task to do, cleaning up page layouts. This is even better than creating automated tasks. But it was quite daunting. We had more than 100 of page layouts. Most of them were a mess. The concept, do one thing at a time and nothing else, helped us out a lot. We created a list of all page layouts prioritized by how often are they used. We cleaned the first layout, no management involved, you remember, just our 2 average users. Released this layout, got some feedback, did some final cleanup, task finished, and repeat. Over the course of about 4 months, we cleaned almost all page layouts, one by one. And this way, the cleaned layouts already created business value long before the official go live. Because we also followed the next concept, get something live always. We worked very hard. And now the day is there. It's the big go live day. It's the end of a milestone or even the whole project. Everything is brought to production in one big bang. Ahead of go live, you do lots of testing. You get all the sign off from all the people. But honestly, we have no idea what will happen. So anyway, actually, we know what will happen. Some of our great features will be actually useless. Happened quite a few times to me. And almost all the features we release are kind of full of bugs. So the day we worked for so long isn't any fun. The day is full with hundreds of users complaining about thousands of bugs in a borderline unusable system. This is the dreaded first day or even first weeks of go live, most stressful time of the whole project. I was part of such go lives. Who of you had to endure the same? I guess most of you. It's unpleasant, isn't it? Is there a way to avoid this? Yes. Get something live always. Salesforce is really easy to change and very hard to break. Separate your project into very small pieces. Then you take each small piece, finish it, and bring it live as fast as possible. But you think the feature is not ready yet. There's so much more to do. Only 3 out of the 10 requirements are implemented into that feature. Management will never approve that. And on top of that, the UI is also a mess. No way we can show that to our users. Bring it live anyways. Get over your fear and do it. You break the project into small pieces and bring each piece live independently. Since it's only a small piece you release each time, there will be only a small number of bugs. And most Salesforce bugs are actually fixed fast. And more important, since it's now in use by real users, you start collecting real feedback. You get a feeling, is this feature actually useful? And even more important, since users are already using it, and might it be that tiny? You remember, they cleaned their page layouts. It's already creating business value. Why should you wait for 6 months until the official go live to release the cleaned up page layouts? Users are happy about cleaned up page layouts anyway, already today. And a small side note here, I love silent go live. Release something and tell nobody about it. See how it works in the real. Have it run in the background silently for a week or two, check if nothing breaks. This works great for automation, and I do it all the time. Again, get over your fear. Bring it live, because only something in life provides value. And the last concepts were about how to do something. The next 2 concepts are about mindset and attitude. Most of the requirements we get are incremental improvements. We change what our company already does a little. These are important improvements, but incremental improvements cannot create radical innovations. We didn't get a car by improving the horse slightly. And only a radical innovation creates actually amazing results. A radical innovation doesn't have to be about AI or even complicated. Sometimes it's the smallest of things. I was about to prepare the migration of lead email templates from Classic to Lightning. This is not my favorite task, especially since the Lightning email templates are not, let's say, up to par. Anyways, we had hundreds of them. Our users have been sending out more than 120,000 template-based emails over the last years, manually. Users spend hundreds of hours a year sending these emails. This sounds really ineffective. So I asked around. Users love the emails, but there's no real way of automating. It depends on gut feeling. Okay, customers seem to like them. They reply to these emails in a very positive way. And management believes in this email. Therefore, marketing spent countless days optimizing the content. It all sounds legit, doesn't it? Maybe it's just this way, and the users will send out manual emails to leads until the end of time. But before I started the migration, I had one more simple question. Do these manual emails make us money? Luckily, the company has a really great business intelligence team, and they could provide the numbers within a couple of hours. But before I continue with my story, you know who didn't do more of the same? Salesforce. Parker Harris and Mark Benioff didn't create an on-premise CRM which was slightly better. They changed the game. They questioned everything what was true in the business. Many people laughed at them, but you see where the Salesforce is today. Back to my email templates. BI came back with the results. Leads which received the template-based manual emails were slightly less likely to buy. This sounded really strange, but the numbers were clear on it. It was the opposite of what everybody believed in the company. Later, we actually found the reason. The manual emails interfered with our automated journeys, and this was perceived by our leads as too many emails. Sometimes they received 2 or 3 emails a day. So anyways, it took quite some discussions, but at the end, we got rid of manual emails to leads altogether, globally. Users saved hundreds of working hours a year. Customers were less annoyed. Marketing saved lots of time optimizing these email templates and could focus on more important emails. Who would have thought that a simple task of migrating email templates can lead to such a radical innovation for this company? And just asking such radical questions is very risky. Implementing them is even riskier. You have to cover your bases. You have to be sure about what you do, because you will go against a lot of people's beliefs. But in order to truly master project management, you have to be radical. Doing what always has been done does not create stunning results. Only radical thinking creates radical innovation. There's a couple of questions which I like to ask myself or the company in order to get innovative ideas. Why do we do that? What happens if we don't do that anymore? Oh, let's look at the numbers. And my favorite one, let's look at 10 random examples from last week. 30 years ago, the people in Berlin also asked a radical question. Do we really need that wall? Not really. And so they removed it. The concept is still as radical. The next concept is still as radical as the fall of the Berlin Wall. Be different, embrace diversity. Salesforce is completely different than the rest of the industry. Salesforce is about diversity. There's women, there's people of color, and there's many queer people in the Ohana. This diversity is what makes the Salesforce community so great for me. I feel at home. But the reality in our job, in our project, might be quite different. Tuesday morning, I'm invited by management to discuss the next steps in the project. Mostly white men again, including me. This is not good. In order to have a well-rounded project, there needs to be diversity. You cannot change your company in your big sweep. I tried, doesn't work. But you can use the influence you have. You know, you're the project manager now. You can change something. Create diversity yourself. Include people you think help your project to be more diverse. Bring them along. Bring them to this management meeting. Don't ask for approval. Just do it. There might be some growling. There might be some complaints, but the results will prove you right. And don't forget about yourself. Embrace who you are. In our current state of the society and industry, it still takes a lot of bravery to embrace your own diversity. There will be some backlash, but after all, you can always come to the Salesforce Ohana and be who you are. Quite all right. 6 concepts, 25 minutes. Quite a lot, at least for me. One more time. Acknowledge you have a project. Focus on your primary users, no one else. Ignore managers. Do one thing at a time, nothing else. Get something live, always. Be radical, question everything, trust nobody. Be different, embrace diversity. The last slides, I want to help you get started. You can start exercising today, right now. Treat every task you can get as a small project. Yes, it's a make-believe project, but it provides you a great way to practice. These pretend projects give you also the opportunity to start creating your own templates. And of course, there's a lot of great content about project management online. Go ahead and do some training. Prince2 is something I personally like a lot. And lastly, learn and copy from project managers around you. A big thanks here to my first project management mentor, Christian Leffin. To this day, I follow his advice and use his templates. And there's 2 trailheads I recommend: Business Value of Equality and Salesforce Agile Basics. This is the collection of the helpful resources. Feel free to download them in your free time. I will share the presentation in the description of the video. And this sums it up. Thanks. This was the presentation for my first Dreamforce. This is a re-recording, and I'm so excited that I was invited to go to Dreamforce. Thanks for staying with me in this video. I hope I could give you all some inspiration for your next project. Let me know in the comments, hit me up on LinkedIn and Twitter. I'm super curious about your feedback, your ideas, your thoughts on that. Thanks a lot.